We are the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association.
We are the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association.
Business in Pennsylvania.
And business in Pennsylvania is our business.
I want to move to Vincent from Shamokin, who writes in about the adult basic health plan. Vincent writes, when you first became governor, you eliminated adult basic, citing a lack of funding. The program provided minimal coverage for 42,000 low-income workers, funded by the state share of the National Tobacco Settlement Fund, and more importantly, the massive surpluses held by the state's nonprofit health insurers. He put nonprofit in quote there, I believe. So he says, according to the administration, there was no money to continue funding adult basic, but the legislature continues to hoard a $190 million operating surplus, and the 4 Blue Cross companies now have combined surpluses totaling more than $6 billion. Let's address adult basic. He went on to
let's go back to adult basic. When I came into office, it was running out. Mm-hmm. And actually, the funds for it ran out in February 2011. And it was a fund that was created by Governor Rendell, going to the 4 Blues and telling them, you're going to put, I forget how much money it was in each one, for a period of time. And they all agreed to it. Mm-hmm. And it was in a time when there was a great deal of a much better economy, I believe. And he was able to convince them. We've not been able to convince them, nor have we really gone to that direction at this point in time. But I think it's important to note that when you're talking about, and I understand Vince's position, when you're talking about how much they have in reserve, they're required to have a certain amount of reserve. They have to be able to cover what they think may be, if there's a catastrophic event of some type that would affect a huge number of their patients, their clients. So they have to be able to handle that. So they're required to have some. There is some good debate about how much is right. Correct, and that debate's going to continue. As you address the issue of the reserves of the legislature, Vincent, call your legislator. This is a fight that I have been trying to talk about with them, and when we deal with the balancing the budget. Because especially in these difficult times, we don't need to be sitting on money in one account when we can move it to other accounts.
That number jumped out at me, 190 million. Yep. Is that accurate?
I don't recall if it's accurate, but there is a significant amount of money that they do hold in reserves.
All right. Charles from New Paris is up next. I had to run to my book of counties to find New Paris. Take a shot.
Bedford?
Absolutely right.
Okay.
Absolutely correct.
It's in northern Bedford County.
Charles writes, why did the governor think we were not paying enough for gasoline? Now, this is going to go to the transportation plan that you signed last fall. Charles says, Virginia's gasoline is as much as 50 cents per gallon less than ours. Surely there's some wasteful spending in the budget that could have been cut instead of raising our taxes again. Before you address this, let me just throw out some numbers. The average statewide price in Pennsylvania as of today when we record is $3.77. Virginia was $3.51. So the difference isn't 50 cents. The difference is 26 cents.
It's always nice to have
facts.
As
of today in the statewide average.
Right.
Now, there could fluctuate locally. You know, there are some places here that are in the 380s already. But go ahead and talk to Charles.
In fact, I can tell you the gas station across the street from the governor's residence is always about 5 or 6 cents more expensive than all the gas stations around it, because gas prices are also set by the local dealer, and
right.
because it's part of profit. The differences between the states could be involved in the tax, but in many cases it's involved in where they are in respect to refineries and
right.
to the cost
and how easy it is to deliver the product.
That's exactly. There's so many variables in this that you can't really do the comparison that Charles wanted to do. It's like apples to rocks, frankly. And how we tax in each state is completely different. You know, some states, they put it right from a personal income tax. They increase the personal income tax and put it to transportation. We do it through license fees and so forth, and through the gas tax. And as you know, we're reducing that state gas tax at the pump, which was flat, over the course of the next 5 years. We will eliminate that, and we took the cap off the wholesale price, and it will go up accordingly. All predictions, and I think they're pretty accurate, is within 5 years, the average driver will be paying $2.50 more a week to have much better roads, to have a better transit system, to have safer bridges.